both sides.
Bob, I'm going to start recording because I just have to wait for everybody to come in. But we could go ahead and start. Now. Go
Okay.
ahead. You had this conversation because the spirit is rising. You had this conversation with whom? With somebody else. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was a young man that I work with, um, and I was having this conversation with him, and he started in talking about why he chose to date a white woman, and I was all ears, definitely wanted to hear, and he started out with because black women, and I said, okay, you can stop right there. My personal opinion on it is if the reason a black man, is dating outside of his race is because black women, the conversation can stop there. Because what it says to me is that he's found a bias, he's found something he can latch onto that is probably related to a trauma that he has endured under one black woman,
Right.
or a couple. It doesn't matter what the number is, it's not every black woman. And the fact that this was his go-to, that tells me that it's not because this white woman was great. It doesn't, like, let's take white out of it. This woman, honestly, I feel bad for her because she's random white face for him. She's not the black woman that hurt him, so she is fill in the blank.
Right.
And just because she is not black, that automatically means that she's okay. And that is a faulty way of thinking. That is a faulty mindset because you're speaking through the lens of your pain, speaking through the lens of trauma.
Right.
And the fact that you go forward with it and say, okay, well, I'm just going to go on ahead and date her. Like he is actively dating a white woman right now. What that says is that he has settled into his pain, settled into his trauma, accepted his biases, and chosen not to heal, not to grow.
Absolutely. He's chosen not to grow past that level on which he became accustomed to. And you're saying that he had dated within his race, but then he found comfort dating outside of his race because she seemed a lot more familiar to him. Is that what I'm hearing, Baba?
Yeah, yeah,
Was that
yeah.
what I was hearing?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And it comes from early childhood education. I don't know what your early teachers were like. I don't know what they were like, but I remember my kindergarten. I remember my kindergarten teacher's name. Her name was Mrs. Robinson.
Oh wow.
She was an older white lady, but when we're babies, everybody's old. That's why we say when we get older, like people like like Cicely Tyson for example, you know, we thought she was old when we were young, and then when we got older, she was older. But
Hmm.
but she was never old. It was just our perception. So Mrs. Robinson was probably about 20 years old, 21 years old. She might have been 25. She could have been 30. But I thought the woman was old. And I remember her. But guess what else I remember? She was white. I had
Mhm.
nothing but white teachers coming all the way up through the 6th grade, whether it
Lord.
was white women or white men. I did not have any um
Mhm. The link.
anybody of color in my educational process unless it was a substitute teacher.
Mm.
And this substitute teacher came in, and she was, I don't remember her name, but I remember the pain that she caused me. Caused me and the whole class every time she showed up as a substitute teacher. She would not interact with us. What she would do is write on the board, and she would say, "This is what you have to do. You have to copy this poem." And the poem was about Lacomas. On the shores of Gitche Gumi lay the wigwam of Lacomas by the shining Big Sea water. You know, I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember bits and pieces of it because that's the pain
Mhm.
and the trauma.
Right.
Can you hear
And
me?
yeah, we can hear you, Gene, but we can't see you.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with my camera.
You can go out and
Let
come
me-
back in if you care to. See if that works. Um, so with all of that, with all of that pain and suffering, what do we do? What do we do with it? What do we do with it? We hold it, we internalize it, we move it down beneath the noise until such time it comes back and bites us. Not physically or not personally, but through vicariously and through the interactions with other people. And now we're in pain. Now we're having disruptions. There you go, Gene. Now Samson trying to get in. He has to turn his camera on.
Uh,
Um we have trauma in our lives.
mm,
And it's childhood trauma. It's you know past life trauma. And we don't get a chance to express ourselves as men through this trauma and relieve this traumatic experiences because hey Samson is
Hey,
in
hey,
because of the fact that we're taught so often that we can't really have emotions as children, as young boys. If you have an emotion, if you start crying, what do they say? Big boys don't
mm,
cry.
mm,
Let that little girl cry. Oh, come here, baby. Let me dry your tears. Let me hold you
mm,
close. Let man look. And then them little girls are held by a strange man. Not their daddies, not their uncles, but a strange man in the educational system. Now he's not holding her incorrectly. He's not consoling her as a little sex child. He's holding that baby to try to help that baby through her trauma. So now she has an affection towards men. Now, particularly if there's a white teacher and that white teacher shows interest in her, oh, she's going to be attached to the positive reinforcement and the visual stimulation of that less melanated individual. And that builds into, okay, I like that.
mm.
Then you have Uncle Joe who, or Daddy who whips her ass because she stepped out of line. Now she's got pain. Now she associates pain with that dark skin. Now Daddy's bad. Uncle Joe's bad. But this white man had held me while I was crying because I skinned my knee. It's not about boys, black boys, white boys. It's about the male and female interactivity.
Mm.
And we as men have to face the adversity, right? And we have to stand tall in it if we're going to heal our communities. But we don't understand, particularly when we get to a point of 15, 16, 17 years old. Now our hormones are raging, and that little cute little girl with the braids or the locks, we go up to her and say, "Hey, what's your name? My name is this way or that way." It is. One plus. What's up? What's up? What's up? One plus. Hey, how you doing? Amewa. Can you hear me, brother?
Can't hear him.
Amewa, can you hear? Can you hear?
Peace, peace.
Alafia. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh man, we in here talking and we're moving and grooving. Good to see your face.
Good to see yours as well. Look at all that hair.
Ha! Yes, it's coming back. It's coming back after I had it given back to the to nature.
It's good you can grow it back because you see mine ain't coming back.
Welcome to the group.
Well,
Thank you, brother.
welcome in. I'm glad that you could join.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what we're doing is we're basically talking about the traumas of men and how we have been programmed to carry ourselves in a particular fashion, and how we can get back into the graces, if you will, of our sisters.
Mhm.
Because together, the male and female energies that give and take, that's what creates community.
Facts.
But because of the fact that these programs have been out here to destroy the family first and then the communities, we have to figure out a way as men to not continuously build into that horrific lifestyle.
Facts. Facts.
Don't let me be the center of attraction here.
No,
Gotta figure out, man. We gotta just understand that what we were taught wasn't the best way for us as a community. That's all. I mean, we gotta relearn stuff. Plain and simple. We gotta go back to where we go learn when I don't know why yards y'all, but like when I was growing up, like I said, I was always surrounded by a bunch of positive black men. I had uncles, had a father who was there every day, got up to work every day, took care of the family. My uncles did the same thing. I mean, nobody in my family was ever divorced until probably the next generation, the generation before me. But everybody else married out. I mean, they died out. My mother and father were married for 47 years when my father passed away. All my uncles were married for 40, 50 years, 60 years before they died out. We got to realize that that's out here. And stop feeding into that, they ain't no good black man out here, or that narrative out there. That's because that's a bunch of BS.
Right.
Because we sitting in a room with good black men. So we know that's false. We just got to put more of that out there instead of all that negative stuff. That's the biggest thing for us. You got to stop feeding into the BS.
Because that's all it is total BS.
Yeah, I mean, it's on purpose. I mean, it ain't by accident, but we just got to get away from it. Stop teaching to our kids, man. That ain't no good black man, ain't no worthy men out there, ain't no good daddies out there. I know a bunch of them. So
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good men in here, and I know 2 of them 3 of us are fathers, Samson is a good example of a good brother. Now, you got children, Samson?
Yeah, I'm a grandfather, man. Get ready to be a
See?
great dad.
So we're good men. And we're trying, and we're good men getting better. You know, the Masons say we're looking to build good men and make them better. No, we don't need to be Masons or Omegas or anything like that. We are part of an organization called humanity. And when we become brothers in humanity and link arm in arm, elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, and walk strong, standing up, we can change
Yeah.
we can change the course of mighty rivers and bend steel in our bare hands. And those of us as the skies as Clark Kent, mild mannered. Once we take that facade off, we become the change that we want to see. We become supermen.
Indeed. Indeed.
But it's done through, man, and Jack, it's done through steps. And it's like telling the baby that it has to grow. Well, we need to all understand that as human beings, we want the same things. We want our family to be strong. We want to have a place of worship. We want to have a home where there's welcome. We want to be able to work without a ceiling on our head. But the way we get back is called financial literacy. We are consumers of everybody else's thing but our own. They are literally trying to devaluize man. And we have to change that by our example and being open enough to share wisdom, better known as life experience, because we're called individuals for a reason. No two is going to think exactly the same, but we can agree and disagree without taking it personal. That's when change is being put on the table. But not only change, value. You treat somebody the way you want to be treated. And you dare not bear false witness against your brother, because the innocent always seems to suffer. What you said about the young lady and the European and how positioned, well, she has to grow and understand the men around her life holds a strong and warm and protective feeling for her. And it does not have to be just your baby girl. Any man that has one, he has an innate feeling of nurturing and making sure this child get a chance to grow into the woman she's supposed to be. Because we can't tell a woman how to be a woman, just like a woman can't tell you how to be a man.
And that is so true. Then we have these. I want to be respectful, but I also want to be respectful to nature. Nature is nature. I don't give a hoot how you slice or dice it. You cannot be something that you're not. You cannot be something that you're not. You can fake it. You can alter the appearance, but you cannot change nature. Hormonal interjections, hormonal injections, hormonal therapy. Oh, it's all facade. It's plastic. I feel bad for those individuals that are trapped in their own mind. I feel bad for those individuals that are trapped in their bodies and don't want to release that energy properly. But I also feel bad for my children who have to be subjected to the program of destruction. You should not. You can do whatever the heck you want as an adult.
Well,
but leave those children alone.
They are sponges. They are sponges, and they want to learn. But see, most of the information that's put out are half truths. They aren't the real truth because what it does is misconstrue the identity of the truth. So they tell you half truths to keep you bogged down. Can't nobody validate a person through a test because everybody not meant to take tests. You are what God made you. But see, paying it forward and allow yourself to matriculate and become what God made you instead of what you want to be, because you was put in the image of a king, not a sub, but a king. You protect, you love, men love. We don't wear our love on our sleeves because they built up falsities to make it seem less than to share emotion. And that's the confusing aspect for the young men coming in and the women who have not had a man in their life, but a boy. It changes them. It changes them. So they need examples. So all we have to do is be who we are, because a lot of kids don't know real men exist.
Thank you.
And with value, principle, who do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, who help even when the person don't want to help because it's the right thing to do. The principles. The principles.
Samson, I agree with you to a point. The principle for self and self-support, if you're an individual that gives help to somebody else, the fallacy of that is forcing yourself on somebody, forcing your help on somebody because you feel it's the right thing to do. There have been points where people have been trying. It goes back to the first time we talked about, would you take your coat off in the middle of a snowstorm or in the middle of a torrential downpour, get up to the curb where there's water, lay your coat down, that $2,500 coat, mink coat, lay it down on the ground for a woman to walk on so she can walk through that over that water. Now you've allowed somebody to walk over your coat, get it messed up, and she's not even happy with it, but she says to you, "Oh, thank you." You've destroyed something that you want to because you thought it was the right thing to do. And she said, no, it wasn't the right thing to do. The right thing for you to have done is asked for if they needed help. And if they said no, then you honor that.
All right. Let me step out for 1 second. Be right back.
Yeah, now he's calling you.
That you just finished saying is called common sense, where there isn't really a lot of common sense utilized over here. The obvious. As far as putting the coat down on the ground so a woman can walk across and all them stuff, those things. My first question was, did you take in consideration the environment that you was going to go into so you won't have to be put through that point? It's called planning, and failure to plan means you plan to fail.
Keep talking, keep talking.
And the most important part about that is using the mind, which is our computer, to diagnose, to make a feasibility study whether or not it's possible for me to go out traveling in inclement weather when stuff like that take up. Now the chivalry part, those are facades. Those are fictitious anecdotes that they put out to make a person feel less than. That's what they were put out there for. The Lone Ranger, I'm gonna give you that. Lone Ranger, for years was publicized on the television as a white man. when he was originally a black man. And the reason they publicized it, they didn't want to see us on TV. We are a racist country and a melting pot of many. But the key component is we are human beings who possess the capabilities, the clarification, and the charisma to manipulate on this planet, which was given to us. The shepherd.
Who's the shepherd?
We shepherd the land.
Absolutely. And that is the correct thinking. When you have these individuals that have been lying to us for so long and saying there's a shepherd.
Oh, yeah.
We are the shepherds. We are the caretakers of each other. The earth is our people. The earth is going to take care of itself. The world that we stand on, terra firma, aye, however you refer to it, it's going to take care of itself. But we have been placed here in multitude to protect, honor, love, care, and multiply amongst ourselves. But we forget that. And what we do is we continuously buy into, and I'm going to keep saying it, and I guess to ad nauseum, the program is what we have bought into, and the program is what's destroying us.
Yeah, because we've gotten away from, like you said, the law of nature, and we following the law of man because it's easier. The law of nature takes work. Following law of nature takes work. It takes consideration. It takes thoughtfulness. It takes all the stuff that the law of man passes over. So I mean, being greedy is easy. Being selfish is easy. But being considerate and worrying about somebody else other than yourself on a regular basis takes work. And most people don't want to put that work in.
Absolutely. Now I want to share something with you, brothers, and this is truth. You see the brother there, right there, that this is first time in. That brother right there, Amewa. That brother there, that's a real brother. I met him the first time I met him. We had a 2.5, 3-hour conversation, just a conversation. And it was honest, truthful, uplifting, and it was full of love. I didn't know him from Adam's House Cat. He didn't know me from tomfoolery, but he honored me with his time. That's what we have to do. That's what we should be doing. And that's what we need to do in this whole dynamic of brotherly love, of men versus program, or as he meant, how do I say it? Empower men tall. Because we have to start becoming empowered in our posture. And if we take Amewa's lead, where he said, yo, I don't know you, but I love you. And the brother honestly means it. If he tells you he loves you, you can go to bed on him. You can rest on that, because the brother is going to do what he can for you in the flesh and in the spirit. That's just the type of individual that he is. And if we do the same thing in our communities, like I said, 59 Stairs Productions, I produce and I build, right? People. That thing I'm getting ready to do, what do you call those things? Conferences, those things, right? When I put them together, when I really take my time and think about it and put them together, it's about love on a base level, because it's not about me, it's about you, the community. Stairs are what we look at. Each of us is a stair. And what do? You step on a stair to get to the next level. So I allow you to stand on my shoulders as you allow me to stand on yours. And as that does happen, we've all played the dominoes, we've all played pyramid, we've all played the games where everybody's at the bottom, but that's the support system. That's the support system to allow the wall to be built, allow the individual to see over the obstacle. But if we were so pompous and arrogant and self-centered and selfish as they want us to be, there wouldn't be anybody at the bottom supporting this eye at the top. So we couldn't see nothing. That's called awakening. And we're not supposed to be awoke. We're supposed to awaken. Awaken to that which is real, truthful, honest, utilizing our God-given wisdom and talents to support you and you and you and you and me. Not me, then you. It's you, then me. That's open, honest, love, support system. Go ahead, Maywa.
It I think like you listening to you brothers, you've all hit on core pieces of this puzzle, you know, and of course the thing is to put it all together. You know, number one, you know me better than any of the other brothers here because we're just meeting, but I believe in community, you know, I believe in family. And, you know, all of the things that we go out here doing, it has been in contradiction to what the programmers have put in place. The program is to keep us separate. The program is to keep us at odds. The program is to keep us feeling alone. The program is to keep us, you know, fighting against our own natural inclinations, because our own natural inclinations will draw us together. It will pull us together. But we allow the programming to kick in and keep us separated, even mentally, you know, emotionally. Biggest problem with brothers right now is that we're not doing this. We're not talking. You know, we're not sharing. We can't have a 5-minute conversation without an argument, you know. And then again, because of this separation programming, that argument, it winds up becoming a full-blown fight, you know, when we should be able to talk as a community, as brothers, as family, and assist each other. Because you might disagree with me today, but 2 weeks from now, a month from now, a year from now, you'll look back and say, oh shit, my brother was right. Because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly growing. And because we all don't see from the same lens all of the time, sometimes somebody can see something that I can't. Okay. And I have to pay attention and listen and accept, so that when it does come around, I can recognize, oh yeah, my brother told me this. You dig what I'm saying? Samson said this 2 years ago. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's the state we have to be in all the time. We don't always have to agree, but we do have to respect and be open enough to accept each other's wisdom and each other's knowledge and each other's experience. So your experience might not be my experience, but that don't mean it ain't gonna be my experience. Okay. So, you know, I for those of you that don't know me, I work with young men. I work in a juvenile, right? And so I'm constantly trying to work with these brothers to get them to talk, not cap. You know what I'm saying? Talk, not rap. Communicate, work from a place of understanding. And then I'm always trying to share with them certain knowledge that I have that they don't have, that they ain't got there yet. Most of them haven't gotten there yet. They haven't had all of the experiences with raising children, with having wives, with, you know, all of these different types of things. They haven't even completed school, most of them, you know. So working with them from where they're at to try to get them to a point where when they are back out in the community, they're starting from a different juxtaposition, you know, and we have to be that model. You dig what I'm saying? If I don't have
Mhm.
brothers to talk to, if I don't have brothers to communicate with, if I don't have brothers to learn from, if I don't have brothers to share with, then what do I really have?
And that's wonderful. What you just made the statement, I work with returning citizens. I'm a general contractor, and I'm a spokesman representative of a couple of different groups. But how you gonna know me if you haven't been where I've been to understand where I'm coming from?
There you go. And if I won't take the time to listen,
Say it again. Take the time to what?
won't take the
Listen.
time to listen.
Well, you cannot grow because the methodology of teachers that they use right now is it being pointed and directed towards the strength that the kids of today's society, because they're more computer orientated. Therefore, what was old must be incorporated with the new by the process of what's needed and what's wanted. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with wanting to have fun all the time, but you need to take care of your needs first. And you need to respect the people that are around you because you wasn't put here by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's the problem with society, man. It's me, I. That's everything. That's what everything about. I need the biggest this. I need the most. We got to get away from the I stuff. I mean, and then, unfortunately, that's what this community, this world, this culture is built on. I, me, I. The community, the sense of community is gone. I mean, we're almost gone.
That's that separation programming, right?
Exactly.
So that's that separation programming. So we look at everything, look at traditional or tribal cultures around the world, right? Everything is about community. You know, utilizing medicines and entheogenic processes and spirituality and things like that was never about you as an individual. Yes, it's to strengthen you as an individual, but it's to strengthen you as an individual so that you are stronger and whole for the collective.
Exactly.
Not so you can go out on your own and become whatever. It's so that you are a better husband, a better father, a better grandfather, a better friend, a better brother, you know, so that the folks around you can gain from your strength and be supported by your strength, that you can give them strength so that they can support the next.
Mm-hmm.
But this
It takes a
individualism,
village to raise a family.
say it again,
It takes a village to raise a family.
takes the village to raise a family.
Now, I say this all the time, and people get upset with me when I say it a lot, but I think, personally, my opinion, it's only my opinion, I think the worst thing that ever happened to us as a people was the civil rights movement. Because before the civil rights movement, it was all about community. It was family, community. Mom, pop raised grandkids, they raised uncles and raised kids, everybody raised, it was family. We raised each other.
Yes.
My father's from South Carolina. And I know just from speaking to him when I was young and talking to my uncles, the plan for everybody in the South was to leave. My father left home at 14 and worked his way through school at 14. He left South Carolina and came up here. And the purpose of everybody leaving the South, or the purpose, what the purpose was to leave the South, get money, get education, and come back down to the South to help the brothers and sisters that down there. The sad thing is when we got up here in the North and the civil rights movement is, we forgot all about coming back down to the South. I got a big government job. I don't need the help. I don't need no help. You know, I don't need you no. I got a good government job. I'm making good money. I got me a nice little Cadillac. What I need you for? We bought into that whole corporation mentality. where it's you the only way to be the best, the only way to gain anything is to have the most of everything. Is to always be striving to have the most of everybody you know. We got away from sharing stuff with our brother. Okay, my brother need help. Okay, what you need? I'm coming over there. You ain't gotta pay me nothing. I don't need money. I'm just coming over to help because you said you need help. That
See,
we don't do that no more. If I'm coming to help you, I need to get paid. I need to
even
make
in the
money
older
coming over
days,
here.
even in the old days, right?
Yeah.
When you moved up here, if you didn't go back home, you was bringing folks up here with you.
Exactly.
You weren't just leaving. You reach, hey, they got jobs up here, they got houses up here, they got this, that, and the other thing. I remember, whole families living in the same neighborhood. Mama live over here, grandma live over there, cousin live up the street, brother live around the block. We had whole families living in one neighborhood.
That's how mine was. We had 6th Street. We had 3 houses on one block and one on the next block when you turn.
There you go.
Aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, everybody moved around in the same neighborhood, and we had a support group. See, they don't have the support group that's needed, such as the evening programs, after school programs. What they do now, they babysit. They're not giving them anything that's going to be able to take care of them when they get out here in this real world.
Now you heard Amewa and you heard Samson. They both spoke about how our communities used to be, where if JoJo needed, Billy Bob gave. If Mama, Daddy, and Sally Mae all were living in the same house, and Uncle Robert needed a room, they'd move over and they put Uncle Robert in there. We stopped doing that. But yet, the foreigners, the foreign bodies that are coming in here, and we always talked about them. We, the most doing the little, talking about the littles doing the most. We're talking about how they're doing this, but yet we're not doing it. And look at how they've grown. Look at how they've taken over block after block after block. We talked about the individuals that have done susus. They've communitized their funds, their money, and they bought buildings. And what do? We buy into suburbia lifestyle. We've got to have the big house, the big back deck, right? That deck took us away from community and kept us segregated from each other. So what they've done is they've commingled. I must say commingled because they've combined their funds. And when Uncle Bob wanted to buy a business, they all put their money in and let Uncle Bob buy the business, and Uncle Bob paid them back. If one of us wanted to start a business, if we were in that's the same mindset of not doing, man, listen, I ain't got no money for you. I ain't give. Are you crazy? Look at you.
Yeah, because
you ain't gonna pay me back.
I don't trust it. That's it. I can't. If I'm gonna give you my money, I can't trust it. I can't trust that you're gonna give me my money back, or I mean, it may be 10 years if I get my money back. I can't wait that long.
But why not? See, why not? Yeah. Why can't we trust our brother with our money for 10 years? And then at the end of 10 years, if he's made it big, don't you think he'll give you that $100 that you gave him plus interest or plus more money because you did him? Or say, listen, you helped me get up. I see that you've been struggling over the years that I've been growing, that you've allowed me to grow. Now it's time for me to let you grow. I'm here. I need to bring you there. Amewa spoke about bringing the brothers up. Samson talked about bringing the brothers up. Why can't we do this? Why? Listen, there's a two-edged sword to that. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. And then if you don't have the moral compass, and this happened to me twice, I said, the brother's a brother. I'm gonna trust him with with doing the work. I gave him the money. He never returned the product. He never returned my money. He returned a part of my money, but never returned the rest of it. The second dude, I trusted him. He was supposed to order me a particular product. But in the whole transaction, he talked about two different things, two variables. And in that whole transgressed interactivity that he did, he ordered something that wasn't the one that I ordered. And yet he said that he was giving me, quote unquote, a discount for being a first responder. I got what you would have gotten even if you didn't know him, even if you would just got what a customer. So this is the part of the reason why we don't trust one another. Because if you say you're going to do this and you don't keep your word, now I think Eugene's going to do the same thing to me. I think Maywa's going to do it to me. I think, and the whole problem is thinking, not feeling.
Well, financial literacy is where we have to put our focus because we're the biggest consumers of everybody else's stuff and not our own. We don't manufacture nothing but sweat and profit. We have to get into the market and understand the necessary steps to conduct business. See, failure to plan means you're playing to fail. And you need to understand those rules are put in place to try and level the field of the opportunity of doing business. That's why you got MOUs, JVs, joint agreements, and partner operation agreements. All these things are put in place for you to protect your bottom line.
Yeah, but we gotta, that's part of our problem. We so focus on our bottom line and we forget about the human nature of it. Because you can't have a bottom line without human beings. I mean, without the human beings, you don't have nothing. I saw a lady in Home Depot the other day, and she was a teller, and she was talking about how there are no tellers anymore. You go to Home Depot, you go to Giant, you go to Safeway. It's all self-checkouts. It's a computer now. They got rid of the people. There are no people to communicate with you. There are no people interact with you because all they're worried about is the bottom line. And we have bought into that whole corporational concept that the bottom line, your bottom line is all that matters. That's all that matters. It's not the people that help you get to where you at. It's not the people that help you stay where you at. It's the bottom line. We've gotten away from people. We care less about people. Everything now is a computer, some technology. It's some number, ones and zeros. So we can hear less about people.
So my question to that is,
Care about people.
My question to that now is this. Samson spoke of financial literacy. Financial literacy has to do with the understanding of how money moves, how money works, how we do capitalism in this corporate environment. Eugene speaks of humanity, right? Utilizing what we used to do is bartering. I do this for you because I know how to do this. You do that in return instead of paying me money. Now, how do we as brothers get all of our network involved in understanding love, understanding compassion, understanding community, understanding how to bring forth the power of unity, or as they say in Kwanzaa, I think it's umoja, right? Collective cooperation. How do we do this as Black men who have been turned away by our Black women and our brothers How do we bring ourselves back into the fold? How do we grow ourselves back to the place in which we fell? Remember, we fell from grace. There ain't no such thing as a devil.
we gotta
It's our
realize
spirit
we are
that
important.
fell.
We have to realize we're more important than any money.
Huh?
I mean, we have to realize human beings are more important than any money that you printed, any gold, any silver, anything that's printed. And we've gotten away from that, and we've been taught and I don't know what the word to call it, but we've been taught, we've been programmed, we've been whipped into it to believing that the end all, the be all, end all is money. How much money you make. I mean, even our women, if you look at our women, they don't, if we don't bring a certain amount of money, they ain't mess with us. If a certain amount of money, if you ain't got a certain job, they don't mess with us. That's, I mean, I can't forget that because I'm married. But I'm just talking about in general, just talking, when you look at women talking about man, money is the first of all. That's the main thing for them. Now, I'm only talking about in this society. I don't know. I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about in society in general. It's money first. What do you bring to the table? What finance do you bring? What material things do you bring to the table? That's where you evaluate it. It's not in the amount of compassion you have. It ain't about. It's not about the amount of love you got. It's not how forgiving you are anymore. It's what financial and monetarily do you bring to the table?
The quote
And if you don't have
unquote
a
high
certain
value man.
I value things so much in there.
That's a good point about financial literacy. You know, financial literacy too extends to financial systems. And so what we're talking about, like compassion, community, sovereignty, brotherhood, all of these things, these are not compatible with a capitalist system. And so I think a lot of the times we try to achieve capitalist goals through socialist philosophies. So like in our financial literacy, we have to start like really being critical of this thing we call capitalism, because they truly are incompatible with those things that we hold valuable. And I think that's where the discussion has to start. We and our women and our men have been trained to be capital. The capitalists give us action or relationship, you know. So yeah, I think a lot of that does go to financial literacy and reimagining what an economic system looks like, because we're not going to achieve it through the traditional means of so-called capitalism, you know, banks and businesses as we know it.
Well, we got to get back to the basics. What you just finished stating is exactly what the group of gentlemen I'm dealing with now, and we about to spread this all over because it's time. I had it. The better part of my life grew up with Hall of Famer, world champions, and a lot of first-timer guys. I'm dealing with a lot of historical stuff right now that I'm bringing to the table. We looking at trying to build satellites, airplanes, jets, cars, manufacture them, grow our own food, grow our own, incorporate the old with the new by utilizing the technologies necessary for us to win. But at the same time, replenish the ranks. See, our kids are now in the mindset of virtual world instead of the real world. They're being lulled to sleep. They're being fed an addictive device that they can't put down. 98% of the people who have cell phones can't put them down for a month, put them down for a week, nevertheless a day. We became addicted towards a computer that's fed information. We got away from the interacting of conversation, being able to appreciate people without having the interaction with the tell lie vision, because they only give you part of the truth. They never put us out there as a good mentor, a good neighbor who goes around and helps the seniors every year. They never publicize that. They are devaluing us through the simplest method. having and have not knowing we have everything that we need. We just have to be able to work together to make it viable. Perpetuate that money amongst ourselves. I got a system dealing with a man who was head of the banking situation for the United States under Nixon and under Bush. He's been mentoring me on financial literacy. And we got some things that's going to really shake up a lot of people and bring a lot of people together because it perpetuates itself. You get to own a share of the business. See, businesses don't have to claim bankruptcy and shut down. All they have to do is get the employees a percentage. You sell shares. So now, as an employee, you got something to pass to your kids. When you retire, you will have that to be able to pay it forward. We got away from the word legacy.
Yeah, that requires us to think in the terms of the next generation. And a part of our problem is we don't think into what comes after us. A lot of what goes on there is, okay, I got mine, so you gotta get yours. And you know, when I grew up in a society or in a community where if I got what I got, and I helped you get what you got. Like when my father came up here and my father's sister came up here in 1950. She bought 2 houses that I grew up in and the house next door to me. She bought both of them. She sold, so the house I grew up in was sold to her, sold to my father by her in 1954. She bought 2 houses in South Carolina, one so she could have and pass down to her family, one to gave to her oldest brother, which is my father, so he could pass down to his family. He bought a house. He bought that house, and that left it to me. Now I got something to give to my kids. After she bought that house, she bought another house. Gave that to her next son. She bought another house. Long story short, by the time I was 15, 16, she owned at least a dozen. Now, owned them, but gave them to her sons and daughters to stay in, to live in. The house, not sold it to them, gave it to them. When she passed, about a year ago, she had 20 pieces of property. 12 were my cousin, her son, was in possession of 12 of them. The other 8 spread around her nieces, nephews, and grandkids. They had their own house to alleviate their pressure or their financial pressure, so to make it easier for them and the next generation. You don't do that anymore. Where we got our big house out in Upper Marlboro, and your kids, you gotta get your own house. I mean, your kids in school, you gotta find your own way to get to school. You gotta pay for them. We're not worried about the next generation no more. I mean, hell, you look at how many people that passed away, and they can't even. They got to do what's the money thing to pay for their funerals?
Insurance.
Yeah, I mean, not insurance. I'm talking about when you ask people for money. I can't remember what it's called now. GoFundMe. GoFundMe.
Oh yeah, GoFundMe.
Come on, man. When my parents passed and my aunts passed and my cousins passed, all their funerals was taken care of. Because they wanted something for the next generation. They had their funerals taken care of, and they had enough life insurance to leave some money for their kids or their grandkids. Now, hell, people die and they only got nothing to pay for their own funeral because they're not worried about what comes after them.
That goes back to that capitalistic mindset. So now, going back to understanding how to the question. How do we make the changes in this dynamic so that we can stop losing our face with our women? This might be a question for Yao. How can we save face with our women and our brothers? We already know that we are not accepted into the realms of the European in the capitalistic arena. Some of us are tokened in, and some of us are brought in because of the connections that we have so that they can get more. But how do we, on a real humanistic level, become once again connected in our empowered state with our brothers and with our sisters and with our wives and with our women all the way around? That's the
Understand
question.
it's not just for us, it's for everybody coming after us. You don't do what you do for the people who comes behind you.
So, okay, I'll shoot. I'll go. I think that, well, I'm gonna tell you what I've been playing with in my head recently. And that's the concept of defining ourselves. And part of that definition is being able to tell our women and our families no. And when I say that, I'm saying that we have gotten to the point where success is defined by kind of like whatever we're marketed. We're marketed, all kinds of stuff. I mean, we're marketed. Say it again.
It's stuff and things. Just stuff
yes, it's
and
stuff.
things.
Exactly. We're sold stuff. We're marketed stuff constantly. I mean, that's kind of the American way. But we are not really even having a conversation around no. As in, no, we're not going to own a car that's anything less than 10 years. I mean, any newer than 10 years old. We only buying old cars. And no, we don't need a new house. No, we don't need to go on vacation. Yes, we can go on vacation this year, but we won't go next year. I mean, it just, and it doesn't even have to be those things, because those things are almost what we are taught are the trappings of success, the displays of success. But we get to determine what our own success is. We can determine that our success is cooking our meals from the garden in the backyard, and that we don't go to the grocery store. If that's
what I do. That's what I do.
Exactly. If that's what we determine success is in our families, and we do that through our own consciousness and searching our own spirit for what success is, not what's marketed to us. And if you pay attention, it's so beautifully done, and at the same time, barbarically done, where we're marketed these electric cars. It's not an accident that electric cars are being pushed right now. I mean, it's a whole new industry. It's a change. It's a new industry that they want people to get into. And what happens once you get into that industry? There'll be another one. There's constantly a way to spend your money. I remember the best example I could think of is, what was it? Initially, they were VHS tapes. Then if you had a movie on VHS, you had to get it on DVD. Now, all the cabinets of stuff we got on DVD, obsolete, because now it's streaming. If you want to stream it, you got to pay a certain amount. The game is beautiful, and it constantly is moving like that regularly. So the answer to your question, as far as I'm concerned, and what I'm playing with in my mind, is coming up with ways of being successful that have nothing to do with what we're marketed. That's
so yeah. What I'm hearing you say is we, in order to get back into our good graces with our women and our brothers, is we have to obtain a level of success.
I'm not saying good graces.
We have to define our own idea of success. And then on the back end of that, you said we should utilize the value of no. So what I want to find out with that whole piece is utilizing that energy or that value of no. Will that empower us to stand back in our rightful place, with standing shoulder to shoulder with our mates, with our brothers?
Absolutely. And I want to make one clarity. I'm not saying good graces. I'm not interested in being in good graces with my wife. I have a position in my family. I have a position as a father, as a husband, but that's not necessarily in her good graces. She could be irritated with me when I tell her no, but as long as she sits down next to me and plays her position, that's cool. Now, if she don't know her position, if she believes her position is to push for the Mercedes if it's to push for whatever we're being marketed to, then you know she don't know her position, or I haven't negotiated the roles and the type, you know, all of that effectively with her. So that becomes my job. But I'm not talking about being in good graces. Good graces, it feels like she's happy. And now I want my wife happy. And I've told my wife this to her face recently. I said, I want you happy, but your happiness is not my goal.
Detriment.
Yeah, I mean, I want you happy, and I will do things to work towards your happiness. But that doesn't happen by you dangling a carrot in front of me, talking about I'm not happy. I'm not happy. You got to do more. No, I'm not doing that shit. Just simply, your happiness matters to me, and I will work towards it, and it's important. But you don't get a chance to dangle a carrot on a stick in front of me. I got other shit to do too.
And what you just stated on that tip, we have other things to do. What's been needed is that we perpetuate a circle of wealth. It was done in Black Wall Street in Tulsa. It was a community created, and everybody participated in every stream, and the money circulated amongst the people, along with the vibe of family structure. Everybody wanted to make sure the seniors was okay, the kids had good schooling, you had a job you can go to, and no one put a cap on how high you can grow. And the way we get back to it is by these conversations, but also putting on the table things about managing the bottom line when it comes down to creating wealth, not only for yourself, but for your family tree.
We have to get away from, we have to realize, and we have to think, and this is my own personal opinion, we have to realize where we live at. We don't live in a country. Like I said, it's my opinion. The United States is a corporation. It's a business. It's not a country, because it's not run like a country. You want a country for the benefit of the people. You want a corporation for the benefit of the bottom line. And that's the way this country's run. We've gotten away from that. And in order to run a country, we have to have communities. So that right there says we got away from the community. We're not in the country no more. We run a corporation. It's everything is about how much money you make. And we, like y'all said, it's shoved in our face all the time. It's in our ears all the time. It's on our videos, on our TVs, on our phones. Everything you do is about buy this. You need to buy this. You're not living a good life. You ain't going on vacation every week. If you ain't on the latest Carnival cruise, you ain't living a good life. If you ain't got a new Mercedes, you're not giving the good life. That's what they tell us. And that's what they beat us over our head with, because of where we live at. We live in a corporation. And in the corporation, the main goal of a corporation is the bottom line, plain and simple. You gotta look good. You gotta be in the black or the red, whatever they call it. You gotta be in a certain level to be good.
So the common thread right now is capitalistic, doing away with the misunderstanding of finances, and mislabeling of wealth, because wealth is not money. Wealth is not silver and gold. Wealth is not how many stuffs and things or cars you have. Like Yao said, the latest car, that daggone look.
The electric car.
Those electric cars and those cars that have the self-driving capabilities and those brains. Those things have more fallacy in them than a human being does. But the thread here now is understanding what happiness would be and how happiness could be. Because in order to have happiness in the household, it's a team, and we all have to play our position. Now, the reason why this thing was started, as I said before, is we have lost our position as brothers, as husbands, as men in our own communities. We have lost that authority of being men. Not being an authoritarian figure, but being authorized in our own communities to be men. We don't have to live up to those stereotypographical ideas of what a man is. And we don't have to go out here and grab our zippers and measure the size of our earlobes to be a man. My
Yeah,
take, huh? My
no, I was
take
saying we
would be,
rely on somebody else to determine what a man is for us.
right, because we should not. Because my idea of being a man is always going to be different than what your idea of being a man is, what Ame was, what Yao, what Mudu, what Samson, what Baba's is. We're all going to have the same idea, but different perspective. But now we have to also, and I keep on going back, we have to also bring about a level of understanding that we are here to support, to love, to nurture, just as our wives are wanting to be nurtured, supported, and loved. We want it too. I told my wife, because I told her, I said, listen, I have emotions too. I have feelings too. I have, tears that fall. She says, I know. I said, well, I think I should be treated as such. Not crying about it, not being a snot ball about it, but letting her understand. It hurts me when you say certain things. And I said, hurts you when I say certain things. So what I see and what I saw was there was a shift. Wasn't a great charismatic shift. There was a shift. And how she delivers her information to me. See, we all have different ways of communicating. We all have different ways of presenting information. We all have different ways of speaking. And we all have different meanings on the energy in which we put into those words that we give one another. But my whole idea with this whole gathering of men is to have solutions for us so that we can get back into our proper places within our community. Well, first off, within our homes, then within our community, then within this corporate America and the world. Because particularly men of our stature, melanated men, have been looked upon with negativity for so long. We've been ostracized. We've been castrated mentally and physically. We've been hung by our tongues and we have been hung by our necks. Frederick Douglass says, without struggle, there's no progress. However, we should have to not struggle any longer. Our struggle now is not with, our struggle is still internal, both physically internal, selfish, self internalization, as well as internal home, as well as our whole community. That's the whole thing. Let's figure out ways that maybe we can deprogram the program.
Well, you gotta remember, I mean, we gotta get away from what they think our value is. And remember what we set our value is. I mean, and that's the biggest thing. We're letting society tell us what we are and what the value is. Plain and simple, not because us, just what value is alone. I mean, what we value ain't what they value. I didn't grow up valuing the same thing they did. My father drove a 1974 Plymouth a whole life and wasn't worried about getting a brand new car. My mother drove a 79 Granada, which was my first car. I didn't need a BMW 325, and I was taught by, listen, long as you get in that car, you turn that key, and it takes you where you want to go. It's all that matters. Plain and simple.
That
Now,
we still,
as I got older, okay, listen, I need a little flashier car, and I bought into some of that stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I didn't. Then I also remember where I came from.
because we valued the transportation. We
Yeah.
valued the fact that we had a car, whether it was a hoopty or whether it was a luxury. We valued our car. And that was the Europeanized idea, the mindset, to value something that is not humanistic.
And my value for that car was the fact that it got me from A to B.
That's what I'm saying.
Wasn't about being flashy.
That's what I'm saying. It
it
was
didn't
a
impress
mode of
anybody.
transportation. We used to walk.
Yeah.
We used to walk, and we were healthy walking. Yet we got older, started driving. Man, I don't want to walk nowhere. I got a license. I can drive. When I was a kid, I used to ride my bicycle 2 miles. That was a little distance, but 2 miles. Now I don't want to even walk 50 feet. So that goes back, that also piggybacks on what we're talking about as far as our position. Man, I used to be a player. I used to be a player from the Himalayas. I could get any woman I wanted. Not me, but I'm just saying this is the idea, right? I could get any woman I want. And then I find a woman that I finally figured I want to have forever. And what do? We devalue ourselves first, then we devalue her. We devalue ourselves because of the fact that we don't feel as though we are worthy enough because we're taught that we're not. Like Yao said, we can't come home to Jamaica. I love that commercial, and I love Jamaica. The last time I've been to Jamaica was probably 6 years ago. Been wanting to go ever since. Been to Mexico. Have I been anywhere lately? Yeah, to New Jersey and back. Vacations are far, let's say like this. Exotic vacations are far and in between. Vacations of the mind are just a mouthful away. Am I right, Amewa?
Most definitely.
So
I go on vacation every day.
So we
I'm
get
thankful every day. To wake up in the morning, being thankful every day. See, we got to get back to the things that are obvious because it's not what it looks like. See, they caught up on what it looks like. You're not judged on your merit as the individual. I know more people than most people can ride around in a car and see in a day. I've been privileged to be able to speak with a large group of people who saw something in me that they never knew was capable of being produced because the way that I grew in this city. I have a lot of love for this city because I believe in empowering my brother physically, mentally, and spiritually. And it's necessary on the journey we call life. See, you got to go through something to be able to receive something. And as you go, you'll hear a lot of good people express their life experience that help give you the opportunity to matriculate and become what God made you. We have to get out of our own way and get back to understanding we are all human beings. We are all flawed, in some way damaged, be it at a young age or an old age. But we have to get back to being thankful that I woke up and I can still do something about it. See, two things in the world is constant. It's called time and change. And you can change to meet the time. Because if you're not willing to change, you're not willing to grow. Or if you're not willing to grow, you're not being able to receive wisdom.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just basics. It's so much, bombarded by so much technology, so much fanciness, so much glitter and glam that it overshadows the basic stuff, man. The basic, I mean, hell, they got a saying. Hell, the girls that you basic. And that's a detriment. I mean, that's an insult to call somebody basic man. That's ridiculous. I mean, you gotta be now in society. You gotta be flashy, or you're nothing now. You gotta be flashy. You gotta be everybody gotta see you. And you gotta be seen every time you go somewhere. You gotta be the most ambient one out there. It's irritating for real. It's just irritating because you put so much energy into all that stuff, forget about everything else. You got no energy and no reserves and nothing for nothing else. Because you always trying to be out there.
It's intended to separate you from yourself.
Hmm.
It's
They're
intended to
looking
separate
for 20
you from
minutes of
yourself.
fame.
Because
20
you-
minutes of fame. That's what
You
they're looking
spend
for.
so much time trying to be what somebody else is looking for, but you ain't being who you want to be. You know, you spend so much time trying to chase somebody else's imaginary partner or idol that you lose yourself. You forget who you are. You know, because you got to wear this and you got to drive that and you got to live here and you got to have that and all of these other different types of things. It's all a sham. It's a game. I want to get back to the question that Ifa asked earlier, and that was how do we get back to it, right? How do we get back to where we're supposed to be? Because and I want to give my answer real quick, and then I'm gonna escape because I got to go pick my wife up from work.
Yeah, Maywell, because we're getting ready to close up at 8:30 because
Okay.
yeah.
Well, the answer is what we're doing right now. The answer is this. You know, the answer is 5, 6, 7 brothers coming together, building the 10, building the 15, building the 20, building the 30. You know what I'm saying? And everybody offering, you know, their experience, their gifts, their vision, what they see. You know, even if in the discussion just now, like what is success? We all gonna give a different answer. You know, but all the answers are generally leading to the same ends, right? So being successful might be growing your own food, not having to go to the store. Another brother's idea of success might be being able to go to the store and buy whatever he wants, but the end goal is being able to eat. You know, one brother's idea of success might be you know, having 4 walls and a roof, and another brother might need 6 rooms, but the idea is being out of the cold. You know, so we have to really work at adjusting our perceptions of things as individuals, but then also as a collective. And that starts with these discussions. That starts with right now. You know, and I applaud all of you brothers for coming in and for having me tonight. I will try to be here as often as I possibly can. But I want you all to stay strong and be blessed and keep looking up.
Appreciate that, brother.
God bless. God bless.
Take care, bro.
And I appreciate all the brothers every week that come in and share their mind and their perspective and their knowledge and their wisdom, because we do have to come together and we do have to discuss. And man, it's good seeing the brothers, you know, with the exception of my brother. He said I'll get to see him one day. I haven't seen him yet. I've seen his hands. He has a TikTok channel, and he spreads wisdom about Isheshe and Ifa, and he gives the patikas, and it's pretty good. So I thank him for being here. This is his 3rd weekend. Yao, I'm grateful, brother, that you've come to visit with us. And Amewa, you know I love you, brother. I love you. And I really admire the work that you do. Yeah, all you brothers up there in Detroit do.
Thank you.
My brother Eugene, man, he's a rock for me. You know, he'll pick up the phone when I call. If I don't get him right away, he'll call me right back. He'll say, you know, he'll ask me what's going on, you know, and it gives me a start and gives me a smile because that's his tag. What's going on? You know, Marvin Gaye. And I love him. I love him for everything he's about. I love him for everything he's given me. And I love him for sharing. And Samson, I learned the brother, and I learned a lot of things from him in just 2 hours of talking to him. So, and then Mudu, man, you know, that's my mentor. And you know, I'm just amazed at him. And I'm grateful to be able to breathe, you know, almost the same air as each one of you. So again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming in. We'll be back here next Friday. It seems to be growing. Yao has a. I want y'all to know that Yao has a Zoom meeting. I think it's every Thursday night. Yao, are you still there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
It's called Black Men Creating a Loving Culture in Our Relationships. It's 7 to 8:30 every Thursday, and you can get on it at franksweeklycall.com. That's franksweeklycall.com.
All right. And look, Samson's doing some amazing things with the youth and with the executives that you know he's speaking with. So we all doing something, and as a collective, we get stronger. And the more we do, the better we get. The more adversity we come up against, the better we understand how to deal with it. And it's like a gemstone that goes against the roughness of the polishing wheel. It's hot, it's fiery, but then when it's finished, it's smooth and beautiful. And that's what we are. We're smooth and we're beautiful. So thank you again, brothers. I know everybody's got things to do. It's Friday night. Go ahead and enjoy your spouses. Go ahead and enjoy your family. Go ahead and enjoy the parties, whatever it is. And come on back next week. 59
Peace.
stairs. And this is